How are you doing, guys?
Hey, Parker. We've been critical of the special teams for about a month. What about our evaluations are right, or what's wrong?
To be honest, I don't know specific evaluations you've given, so it's hard to answer. I'm sure there's mistakes. There are a lot of plays that we wish we had back for one reason or another. And there's some we're really excited and happy with, and so that's kind of that. Obviously you could probably point to a bunch of individual plays that we wish we had done slightly differently in one way or another, and those are probably warranted.
Yeah.
Other plays, I don't know exactly which ones, but
yeah. Have you felt, for the most part, that special teams has meeting the standards for you or for Coach Day of you? I know that there's still 2 games left, but
yeah, that's typically at the end of the season we'll go back and we'll do our we call it a self-scout. We look at all the different metrics that we judge ourselves by. We do that at the bye week. Ultimately, the special teams, our job is to put our team in the best position to win. And like I said, there's some spots that we have not done that clearly. So in those moments and in those situations, no, there's some stuff you can't do. I think our guys are playing hard. Got a lot of guys playing hard. Some young guys really showing up, making. Jermaine Matthews went down, made a big tackle on punt last week. If you just watch the way some of the guys are playing and growing throughout the year too, that's, it's been really good to see. And that's really ultimately what we're here to do, is put the team in the best position to win. And like I said, sometimes I feel like we've done that. Other times we haven't.
Parker, do you feel like plays stick out in your mind as to what you'd like to hear?
To be honest, there's probably a bunch. There's little specifics that are, we missed an opportunity to, down punts or little things like that. And there's obviously, Rutgers play and certain things that I'm sure y'all are talking about. So there's a number of them. But, if I went back and really studied all of it, there's probably something on every individual play that we could have done better, and the result might have covered up something, or, things like that.
Last week, unfortunately, won Michigan State and the big punt.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were not surprised. Were you ready for that one? Did you?
Obviously not, right? If they got it, then, you weren't ready enough. It was kind of a unique situation. We had, if I remember right, it was, they got the first down, and they went to the review, right? And then they decided, we kind of were in between. Are they going to just go for it outright, or are they going to put the punt team out there and then go, fake it, whatever? And it was one of those situations that, we were in a defensive safe that didn't get the job done. They got the first down. So we just, we got to be better prepared for that moment, knowing kind of the situation at hand. So.
Parker, when you have a couple of things like the punt that goes off of Lorenzo in the Penn State game, and then a couple other things, but then there's issues that seem like they're like discipline issues.
Like what?
Just, like penalties on special teams or I guess penalties on special teams. When you talk about like the punt at Penn State, is that like a luck play, or is that like a special teams issue?
You're talking about the ball that hit Lorenzo?
Yeah. From a special teams coach's perspective, is that a luck issue, or is that
I'm not going to say luck. No, I mean there's in that situation, we prepare the best we can for the a ball that's not catchable, right? That's into the wind and the ball's running and you point and you yell something to try and get everybody out of the way. That's something that we need to improve at. And if we didn't get our guy out of the way of the ball, we got to be better at that. And I got to do better so that our guys do better at that. I mean, that's the truth, right? Anything that happens that's not good, that's on me to get fixed, right? And the way we look at it around here is, we try to put our players in the best position to go make plays. And then when they make plays, that's awesome. That's them making plays. When they don't, I didn't prepare them well enough to make the play. And so that situation is something we try to fight and to, practice the best we can, but clearly we didn't in that situation.
The play at Rutgers, or where Jesse ran instead of punting, Ryan called that a miscommunication.
Sure.
Can you explain maybe like the breakdown of that and sort of like what happened, how to fix that kind of going forward? Sort of thing?
I really don't want to get into too much detail with that one. We're still playing games, and there's a lot going on with that. But no, I mean, it's the same answer, right? In a different way. That one's entirely different, I think, in some ways than the Lorenzo situation. But no, I mean, if there's a miscommunication, which there was, I can't let that happen. That's something that we cannot have. That's clearly a moment. Back to the first question. All I want to do, all the special teams group, all the coaches, we want to put our team in the best chance to win, and that's not what we did there.
You're on. Where are you during the game?
On the field.
On the field.
On the field.
So are you the person in charge of communicating what's supposed to happen on the special teams plays to the specialists?
Yes.
Okay. So I think what catches our ears is that, you know, the Michigan fake punt that wasn't a fake punt last year seemed to be the communication not everybody was on the same page. Here we're talking again about a communication issue where something was not, and like that, when it's repeated
Right.
from out here, feels like a problem. Is that a fair assessment, or is that, in your mind, is that not a fair way to look at it?
I see your point. I think it's something that special teams situations come up in such different ways. And we really try and work and fight to, like I said, to cross all of those bridges before we get there, right? And clearly we haven't done a good enough job. And so that's the thing, you know, is I try and learn from, and we continually evaluate how we're doing certain things. Some of them are vetted and they work themselves out. Obviously some of them don't. And that's something that, well, anytime something goes wrong, whether it's this or that, I look myself and say, hey, did I prepare us? Did I prepare myself? Did I coach it well enough? And when it doesn't show up, no, the answer is no. So I probably, you know, there's stuff that needs to be improved.
Have you guys altered the structure of anything this year? Ryan was saying, he was talking about miscommunications. He's also talking about this is a collective effort. Like every coach has some into special teams. Have you guys changed any of the flow of that this season?
I'd have to go back and look. Not that I can specifically think of. You know, that's practice. There's 22 guys on the field at all times in special teams, right? And so there's certain situations where coaches, they have groups or units and help and all that stuff. But it's all back on me.
One final question.
I don't think that special teams would be an area where Ohio State with superior athletes would really shine. And the fact that there have been so many plays that have not gone the way that they should. I mean, obviously you're the coach, you're accountable. I mean, what would you say to people saying, what's going on here? Why is this not a major strength of the team as opposed to a weakness?
I would say, it's a great question. I would say the one-off plays, we got to be better. We got to eliminate those. You know, we've got, our job is to change field position, create explosives when we have opportunities to, and we've done some of that. We have. You know, you look at the net field position in a bunch of games, we've won it, right? People don't care about that because the big things can't happen, and they're right. You can't put your team in some situations that we have, and I totally understand that. You know, you look at the kickoff team, and guys, Lorenzo running down on kickoff against Indiana, gets 2 penalties. They start inside the 10-yard line twice, right? That's pretty good play. You know, and there are certain situations that have come up, you know, that they put the team in a bad place. There are a lot of other situations that our guys are playing really hard, really young. You know, we got some young guys, we got some old guys. We have a group that really believes in the mission, and they are playing they're playing really hard right now to go down and impact the game in a positive way, and it shows up. It does. And so that's what I'd say is, you know, the bulk of it, these guys, they work really hard in meetings. They work really hard in practice. They work really hard in games to get things right and to do and help. And any of the mistakes that they've made, I haven't prepared them well enough for. But the bulk of it, I'm really proud of the guys and how they're performing on a week-to-week basis.
What I was going to ask, who didn't get asked, what's your evaluation of Jaden Fielding? Been this your first time taking field goals for you guys?
I'm happy with Jaden. He's done a really good job. You know, he's obviously, you know, he's not perfect, and that's something that he's done he's taken that over. Kicked off well last year, kicked off well this year. You know, I'm happy with his progress right now.
You can put him right here. Yep.
Not every assistant coach would come out and talk to us because I think you know what we're going to ask you about.
Sure.
So we appreciate that you're doing that. There have been enough those moments, those individual plays you're talking about, that whether it's the Michigan fake punt or Georgia getting the timeout right before you guys were going to, you know, run one, or again, I mean, stuff happens, but there's a field goal at the end of the Georgia game. The thing we're talking about with the fake punt this time, it feels like it's possible that this is a team that is trying to win a national championship, and maybe something is going to happen on special teams that's going to go wrong at a bad moment in a big game, given what has happened the past 2 years. How would you respond to me suggesting that maybe that's in the minds of some people?
I don't know. That's one of those things it feels to me that when you look back at it and you cherry pick some certain specific spots, which they're valid, it's one of those deals where there's times when we're trying to make plays to help win the game, to push the envelope forward, and we got to do better. That's what it comes down to. You know, I can't say that we're going to be perfect. I'm not going to be perfect. You know, there are spots that, like I said, we'll learn from and improve to the best that we can. Who knows? Maybe I go inside and, you know, take that and think about it and digest it a little bit, because that's something we can't have happen. That's just the truth, you know. We do everything we can to put our team in a position, our guys in a position, and they play really hard for this group inside that locker room. And you know, no one's here trying to find ways to, you know, not execute. That's the truth. But that's something that we constantly look at and evaluate. And I really don't have a great answer for you, other than, you know, it's hurt.